Hi, I'm Denise, a mom, a wife, a business owner, a friend, a sister, a recovering perfectionist, and host of the Working Moms Redefined podcast. Thank you for being here. Let's join together in community as we break free from the mom guilt that so many of us feel and thrive in our fulfilling careers and raising good kids. You're listening to the Working Moms Redefined podcast with me, host Denise Tulkett. It is my pleasure to get to introduce to you today a woman that is going to help you feel so very confident about the way in which you look in clothes, without clothes, with lipstick, with all sorts of beautiful concepts that make us who we are as women so that we can raise good kids and thrive in careers. It's important for us to feel good in the way in which we look. Why? I think you and I both know it is such a confidence booster to look in the mirror and know that you have the right length of jacket, you have the right amount of accessories. Black does truly look good in your face. And then you're thinking, wait, I know that my closet is curated to fit exactly my needs because I know my color and style. And that is key. If you are unsure as to what House of Color is, have no fear because we get to talk today with the owner of the House of Color Champaign, Nicole Allen. Nicole is with us, a bright ball of energy and trying to show you that when you invest into yourself, it pays off. Something that all of us can keep in mind. Nicole is passionate about helping women become more confident every day through the power of color and style. And who better to ask than a working mom herself? She is married to Spencer and they have two children, Adeline and Avery. Nicole, thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you for having me. I was so excited when you said you were starting a podcast and then you asked me to be on it and I was like, oh, that's even cooler. So thank you.
You guys can already tell and hear from her the excitement in her voice when it comes to empowering women. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you can see actually the place in which she does House of Color consultations. And so let's answer that question, Nicole. What does your career entail as an owner of House of Color Champagne?
Okay, so this is kind of pretty crazy, right? But what mainly I do are two services, which are color analysis and style analysis. So most people will start with color. I should have got the drapes out. I didn't know this was going to be on YouTube. Um, so when someone comes in for a color analysis, we are looking at all of these different like types and shades of color for you personally based on the undertones of your skin. And so we're looking at like what evens out your skin and makes you really brighten up and gives you that nice glow. We want colors to be in harmony with your natural features. And so it's a whole educational process. So we're talking about like not only what your color palette is, but like how does that transform into makeup and hair color and color combinations that you can wear. And so that's really fun. And then the other service, main service that I have here at House of Color Champagne is style analysis. And Denise, we know you've been through both of these. And so in a style class, we are looking at not only just like the shape of your body and your body architecture, but and how we dress the body, but also how do we dress your personality to express like who you really are. So it's really like the combination of these two services that can kind of give you that confidence and like learn who you are and how do we show that to other people to be our best self.
When you first learn of this experience, you might think, well, I already know. Yet, do I? I remember thinking, I know what I like, yet does it make sense for me? Does it go together? Does it really truly reflect and make, let's say, cheekbones or eyebrows stand out to the best of, honestly, my ability? And so when I first got my color analysis done, it was so eye-opening. And Nicole, you often hear people, you yourself, experience that as well, as to how it truly changes the way in which you view yourself. So what are some things that you hear from your clients when they actually see the colors that look best on them during a color session?
Yeah, so sometimes it can be vulnerable, especially at first, because you're coming in here and we're doing it. You're not gonna have any makeup on when we have the drapes on you and we're finding your best colors. But once we like try on makeup and women see themselves in their best colors, it is like it can be so impactful. I've had a young mom, come in here and start crying, and she's like, "I haven't felt this beautiful since I've had kids." I've had clients tear up. They'll say sometimes like, "This was one of my mom's favorite colors," or "My grandma loved this color on me." And so there's a lot of like happy tears, which is so exciting and so like meaningful, because sometimes, yes, we may have a preference and we may know what looks good on us, but then we're kind of like opening it up to the whole rest of the palette. Like, oh, I know coral looks good on me, but I didn't know I could pair that with these certain blues, or even like an olive green, or whatever it might be. Um, if you think you're still going to learn so much more being in the chair.
And it makes shopping so much easier because when you walk in, you might like styles, yet you're unsure if the tan brown cardigan that you wear truly is making you look washed out or if that's just in your head. And so when I think about what happened in a style session and a color analysis down the road, I was able to look out. And when I shop, I knew that if it was a color in my season, I would go towards it rather than trying to decide after, hey, do I like this or that? And then, okay, do I like that color? That choice almost was removed. And you have such a confidence in knowing once you had kind of changed the way in which your closet is set up to then be around the season that they find through you, that it's easier to feel like you're beautiful when you leave, and the decision fatigue is less because the decisions have already been made. When during that color analysis, they give you a swatch of your colors that you can go take and shop. It is such a gift. And while I was able to do a color analysis, we found out that I was a winter, and then later did the style to find I am a classic romantic, right? Right, Nicole? That's right. What does that mean?
Romantic classic is what we call it, but yes, same thing.
Yes. What does that mean?
So we have 6 different style archetypes, and those combine to make 23 different clothing personalities. So a clothing personality is, um, that's what we call, just like we call it a color season, would call it a clothing personality for a style class. And that is based off of you individually. And so no matter what fashion is doing, like these guys, you're going to be able to follow the guidelines of the clothing personality like for the rest of your life. And so it'll give you permission when a fashion trend comes out, like, yes, that works for me, or no, it doesn't, based on what your clothing personality is. So Denise, as a romantic classic, you like nice things, you're really classy and elegant, and like quality is a must have for you. You're feminine and strong, and you probably don't ever want to go like too casual.
It's the structure and the lines and the, like you said, sophistication. And when you shared this news with me last year, it was such a gift. And I know that this might sound crazy to some of our listeners, but it was such a gift for you to tell me, Denise, you like to dress up. It's okay to show up in a room how you genuinely feel on the inside and not feel bad or not feel like you have to necessarily wear sweatpants to the volleyball game because that's not in my clothing style. And when you,
Like, that's not you. No.
yes, yes. And so when you invest in these types of services, yes, they are a treat. Consider it a type of self-care. However, I like to look at it as a tool in my toolbox for business because I know that I am going to show up on stage in a sales meeting, wherever, feeling empowered because I know I look good and I look my best. And as we were working through this with Nicole to find the style type that I was, I remember you saying we were in this room that you can see that Nicole is in, and she's a big bay window, right? She has beautiful light in front of her. And I think we all know that I am confident. And so I had no problem just taking my shirt and top and bottom off while you're still in your undergarments, right? And Nicole's like, whoa, Denise, you can go to the bathroom if you need to. And I was like, no, we're friends. I'm fine with that. And at that point, you kind
That's
of,
your romantic coming out.
that's what you said. You said that is your romance coming out. And it was almost like, okay, that is totally right. Where the girlfriend that we also had in there for her color analysis, she thought to herself, no way would I do that. I would go into the bathroom, I would come out in a robe, and everybody's different. And that's one thing with you, Nicole, is that you make everybody feel so, so comfortable. And you're passionate about wanting to help people feel and look their absolute best. Where would you say that passion comes from?
I think it really comes from my own experience with color and style, because it had such a profound impact on me. Like, obviously, as you know, because you've been through it, like I saw myself in a whole new way, and it gave me so much confidence. And I knew that I wanted to help other people feel that way too, and go through that transformation. And so, like, there's truly nothing better than like watching someone light up when they can see how beautiful are, whether it's just a color or where I'm telling them like this is your best pants rise, or wear your belt here, or carry your purse up here or down low, or wherever it might be. But like seeing that like click for them, like, oh my gosh, this is such a, like, it could be a little tweak, but it makes such a big difference. And it's like just enhancing who somebody really is, and how beautiful they already are, and just taking it to the next level, because it's not really about changing anything, but it's about what's revealing, what's already there. So it's super fun.
It is so fun. And she gives you a booklet, so you don't have to remember all of this stuff. And the best first place to start is with a color analysis. And I grabbed my fan. And Nicole, I don't know if I told you. So if you're on our YouTube channel, you can see these colors, and they are my winter season. So I'm a big fan of winter because I get black. I'm the only season that gets black. However, you will notice this color and black and ice pink are all in the Working Moms Redefined logo. I literally took my fan to our brand designer and said, you got to pick colors from this, because I knew that if my face was going to be next to them, it was going to look better in my season. And it is a powerful, powerful tool. And I am so excited. Yes, we've been talking about what color analysis are and how you could find your style. Yet Nicole realizes that it's important to start feeling even more beautiful today without going somewhere to get this color analysis. And so one of your biggest suggestions that people specifically can make now, either now or tomorrow or the next day, is wear lipstick. And that is a struggle for me. Why do you tell people and encourage us to wear lipstick?
I know we've talked about this so many times, and I'm always telling you, Denise, put on your lipstick. You're getting your picture. You're doing your headshot. We grew up together. So I've known Denise for a long time, and she's helping me with business coaching right now. And so she knows this whole spiel and my tips, and she could probably say it even better than I can, because that's your wheelhouse and it's not mine. But yes, lipstick is so important. It actually brightens up your face. It balances out the face. So we see your eyes more when you're wearing a lipstick in the correct shade. And people actually pay more attention to our words and what we're saying when we're wearing the right shade of lipstick. So it also completes our look. It can be a mood enhancer. Women are shown to feel more confident and more powerful when they're wearing lipstick. If it's in the right color, it enhances your complexion and brings a lot more color to your face. So, we all struggle with breakouts sometimes. And I've done this. I've taken before and afters. Like, my face is breaking out. I don't have lipstick on, and then I put lipstick on, and it takes away from those like bright red spots, and it kind of blends your face out even more. So I know you have a lot of shades to try.
It's just so important to get the right shade, because I wouldn't have known where to start. And so you actually have helped me learn it's not a muted, dusty pink for me. It has those bright colors. Hold on, let me see. I have shade 56, and this is what I have on. It's a more
boss.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're a professional. And I find myself doing it more and more because Nicole's voice is in the back of my head. So I encourage you, especially with the acne comment. Man, I didn't ever really think of it like that. Sign me up. I'm gonna wear that lipstick all day long.
And I know. And you're talking about the power of your words all the time. And so when you add the lipstick, people are going to pay more attention to what you're saying.
The biggest takeaway, ladies, is to wear the lipstick. While then also realizing that it is an investment, it might be a change, do it for some time, try it out, and you will honestly be surprised. I guarantee it. We are as women, probably more aware of making sure that we spend money smart. And it is difficult to spend money on ourselves, especially when that laundry list is long of what the kids need, what your husband needs, blah, blah, blah. But what do you need? And you don't always need to wait and purchase clothing when it is on sale. Correct? Tell me more about this concept, Nicole.
Okay, yes. So we at House of Color say we don't want you to purchase anything. If the price is the most exciting thing about something, like don't buy it because it's most likely going to sit in your closet and go unworn. So when you are in the store or you get something from online, like you want to try it on and make sure you love it. You know, you want something for thinking of a scale of 1 to 10. We want it to rate an 8, 9, or a 10. Like you want to do a little happy dance when you're wearing that because if you're not, then it's going to sit in your closet and go unworn. Never buy something on sale that you wouldn't pay full price for.
The concept that we wear 18% of our clothes 80% of the time is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. Is it because we know what we like? Why do you think that is?
I think there's so much out there and fast fashion is such a thing and there's all these influencers and it's like, "Oh, that looks good on somebody else. Let me try it." And then you get it and you don't feel good in it and it's just sitting there and there's just so much out there that I mean, I've been there too before I did my colors and my style and it's like, you know, you buy a piece and then it doesn't go with anything else that you have and like how you don't have a cohesive wardrobe.
And then you feel weird because you bought it and you only bought it because it was in fashion. And you're like, oh, I'll keep it because it's in fashion, even though it might not align with your fashion. And a long time ago, I started doing in my closet, I flipped the hangers around. So at the start of every season, I would flip around my hangers. And if I wore it, then I put it back in the right way, quote, that the hangers were. If I went all season without those hangers turning around, I ditched them. It was so nice to see what pieces I lean towards more so. Ask myself why. And it's because it did not align with my season of color or my style. And it was a real gift to not have so many choices to choose from when looking at my closet. And that's okay. Yeah. We sometimes stand in that closet, Nicole, and we look around. I know I'm guilty of this and say, I have nothing to wear. And yet your hangers and your closet is full of beautiful clothing. Why do we want to make sure that we invest in those pieces that truly make us happy?
Um, I think so. Another statistic here, the average woman spends over $125,000 in clothing and accessories in her lifetime, but 3 in 5 still make those complaints that we don't have anything suitable in our wardrobe to wear. And so I had a style client in here this morning and she's like, "I don't have anything to make like a full outfit anymore. Like I just don't know how." But then she brought these pieces and we ended up making like several outfits out of things that she just had brought, what she was wearing and then what she brought to her style class. When we buy those pieces that rank, an 8, 9, or 10, and we're buying what truly makes us happy and feel confident and good, we are we're gonna. So it's not about how we look. That's what we talk about too. It's not about how we look. It's how we feel in them, and that's like where the magic happens in all this. And I don't know, Denise, if you remember when you were in here, because you brought in some clothes that you liked and some clothes that you didn't like, and some of the things were like your more natural looking sweater that you'd had for a while, I think, and you're like, "Why am I holding on to this?" And sometimes people just need the permission to let go of things.
And as much as it pains me to say this, sometimes we as women should not be investing into the color black. Sadly, for most of you, that doesn't necessarily get to be a color that you get to utilize. However, for my winter season, I do, and I very much enjoy it and love it. However, for those that aren't sure, rather than go with black, you tell us that there's actually a safer color to wear.
Yeah, so navy is safer than black for most people. Every color season that we have has their best navy, but in general, navy is better than black. It's not as harsh. Black feels safe to us. Everything is made in black. We think it's slimming, but it can actually kind of wash most people out. And so colors really do influence our emotions and our perceptions even more than we realize. So the color of your shirt, that can impact your own mood as well as how someone else is perceiving you. And so again, we think black might be helping us, but really only, I don't know, a quarter of the population can pull off the black. And so I don't wear it anymore. I don't miss it, because everyone has better than black colors. Everyone's got a navy, and there's even more than just navy. So there's a warm red that has a more yellow orangey look to it, and then there's a cooler red that has more blue in it. But the true red that's right in the middle, like scarlet or poppy, that is actually the one universally flattering color that everybody can wear.
I love it. When you look and see yourself after a color analysis, you can actually see the glow in your skin. Your eyes look less hollowed. Your cheekbones almost look more prominent. And although black might not be slimming, if you are in your right season, it does. It does. And it's such an honor to get to experience what a house of color analysis looks like. And you tell people, just try it, right? Get your colors done and see what happens through your personal journey within it.
Yep. Yep. And I think that it applies to everyone. And I like, Denise, how you said I started listening to your podcast and you're saying that it's for working moms, but you said inside or outside the home. And so if you're a mom, you're working, right? And so this is for working moms who are professionals. This is for working moms who are at home. After I had my colors done, it was like right after the pandemic when I was postpartum, like not feeling so great about myself. And so I could even I was at home, not even showering every day, but I could just like have a sweatshirt on in my colors and like see that glow and just give me that boost to like make me feel good. So really does make a difference in your mood and your confidence and just overall quality of life, really.
And we've gotten to see you shine in so many ways since getting your colors done. It's almost like Nicole said at the beginning is once you learn about yourself and invest into education in any sense, you feel more powerful. And when I say powerful, I don't mean it in the sense of I'm going to tell people what to do. It's in that you have the ability to achieve. You have experience in working with those who might be in a commissioned sales-based job, right? And they're pushing and pushing and pushing. And we all doubt ourselves from time to time. And you've described, and I love this thought process, right? When you put on your jacket, when you put on your belt, you are equipping yourself to go out and tackle the world. And it's such a beautiful picture to really emulate of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You are, like you said, a working mom. Let's get into your mom hat more so than your House of Color Champaign ownership hat.
Okay.
Momming is, like you said, hard. What, with your kids' current ages, and please share those, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you are experiencing right now that make being a mom, of course, the most life-giving experience, but also hard?
Yeah, so my daughter is 7 and my son is 4, and probably the biggest challenge that we have every day is getting out the door in the morning on time because I'm a night owl and my kids are good. They're not good at eating, but they're good at sleeping, which I'm very grateful for. But I struggle myself to get them up and get them going out the door. And also they're just at those ages where they're learning how to be independent and you look into all of the research and like how do I treat my toddler and how do I get them to listen and behave in all of this? And so my son is like to that point where, you're supposed to give a kid, well, I called him a toddler. I said, you're a toddler. He goes, no, I'm a preschooler. I'm not a toddler. And so it's like, you have this choice or this choice. And so now he's coming up to me and saying, Mom, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to do that. And I was like, oh, actually, you don't make the choices. I do. And so, they play together really well, but it's just those ages really similar to your kids' ages, right?
Yeah. And I think about you want to empower them, right? The fact that he came with you to two decisions or two options for a decision are wonderful. And yet Wait, buddy, I'm gonna remind you who really does call the shots around here, and that's a fine line because you, for what's going to work, you know what's going to work best. And yet you offer him the opportunity to choose. And then it's like, wait, do I let him fail? Like in that moment, do I let him see why that was not a good decision? And honestly, for me, I look at the time. Do I have time to let them mess up, if you will?
A lot of times you don't have time when you're a mom and you're packing the lunches and you're trying to get them dressed and then they want to change their clothes because they got a drop of milk on it from their breakfast and then they have to change the whole outfit. Like the time, I think time is probably the biggest factor. There's never enough time for work or for momming.
There's never enough time in the day. That's what that logo is centered around for working moms is that's a clock because as women and as mom, we're consistently aware of the time. And for you, Nicole, how have you adapted to not be held to a time schedule to the point where you feel as if you have no other option but to just do? Or how did you give yourself permission for it to be okay and that I live by my schedule and by the time?
Yeah, I think I just had to relax and let go. Like, I would love for my house to look presentable. I would love to have clean laundry and clean dishes all the time, but that is like the one thing that has to go. And I've just had to it's not how I've lived before really until like the last till I became a mom. And just sometimes like you come into my studio, it's in my home, like it's going to look nice here, but who knows what the kitchen or the bedrooms or the laundry room or anything else is going to look like in here, honestly. And so just giving myself permission to not like be up. Sometimes I will be up all night, like cleaning that up. But then sometimes, a lot of times it's like, no, I'm just going to let that go because that's not the top priority right now.
What a good reminder. Not the type top priority. So as you're thinking, as we kind of close, first of all, I love listening to your passion behind House of Color and empowering women to feel super great in the way in which they look both inside and out. And yet you do a really great job of making sure that your daughter feels this from a very, very young age. And we grew up in a time where things were different from the moms in which we were raised, and that's okay. I remember seeing my mom or hearing my mom look in the mirror and not be super happy with the way in which she looked. And you do a great job of empowering Adeline, who is 7, to be able to find what fits her personality and feel beautiful when she looks in the mirror. How do you do that?
I think that's one of my favorite parts of actually going through like color and style training and like letting somebody just be themselves and do what they want. Like, I love for her to pick out her own clothes and it makes her so happy. And when it may not match perfectly or maybe random colors or, kids as a mom, you're like, I'm never gonna let my kids leave the house in pajamas or wear their character shirts anywhere. But like it truly makes them so happy. And obviously and we want to pick our battles too, right? And so letting them and even Avery, my son, um, letting them do what they want is like it's been so empowering to like I know it's different than how like we grew up probably, right? Like you have to wear this and you have to look proper when you're going somewhere, especially like probably in our area and what we were doing. But um, it makes me so happy that they can pick out their clothes and accessories and be themselves.
Two thoughts here. You're right. I was not the type that was allowed to pick out my own clothing, and it was laid for me out the night before. And of course, it was cute and it looked great. I didn't care. I didn't know anything different at the other time. Okay, so my first question is, do you think that structure and that honestly, my mom probably dressed me how she wanted or how she dressed. Do you think that that can show up in women's style types?
I think so. There's a lot of like psychology that plays into your style archetype, because we actually do a little personality assessment to find out like who you are. And obviously, how we grew up has a big influence on us. Talking about therapy, but yeah, I think that can definitely come out and influence, for sure, for sure.
For sure. And I think probably back to the therapy point, that's probably why those of us who might not have chosen our outfits are like, I'm going to let our kids wear whatever they want because you're spot on with my upbringing, I was the type that you dressed a certain way and that was how you did. And I loved it, right? I honestly, as I'm thinking back, my mom and I dressed the exact same. And I love her style. Sometimes, literally last week, I said, "Where'd you get those jeans? I need those jeans." With Sydney, the one day I saw her come out with a tutu frilly skirt with leggings underneath that did not match and a character shirt with a very gaudy necklace. And I looked at that and then I looked at her face. Would you say, here's the second question that got way long drawn out, that oftentimes when we allow our kids to do that, it's because we are stomping down the desire to almost people please?
I think so. I definitely think so. We didn't get to always do that, and so, like, let's give our kids permission to be who they are and do what they want to do. And I think every kid wants to have the independence, right? And feel empowered. And like that is like one small area. Like, does it really matter? Like, no, it really doesn't matter what they're wearing to school. So if we have like family photos or something coming up, I will get my kids prepped for that like weeks in advance. Like, this is gonna be your outfit and your boots for your pictures. And it's so exciting. You're gonna wear this twirly dress and it's so fun. And so I have to prep them if in advance. But like on the day to day, like, let's let them wear what they want.
That's such a good reminder and a challenge because I think yesterday morning Hudson, now granted, it was still chilly and so I did not want him to wear shorts, but I'm considering, I'm like, did I not want him to wear shorts because it was actually too cold? Or did I not want him to wear shorts because they had dinosaurs all over the shorts?
I think I was in first grade and I knew that it was going to be warm out. It was probably like this time of year. And my mom said, you cannot wear shorts like today. You have to wear pants. And so I put like bike shorts under my jeans and I got off the bus in the shorts and she was like, you wore shorts. And she was like, it's okay. Like it was warm enough out. But I was like, I made this choice and I did it. And I still remember that.
I love it. But it's empowering those decisions to be made and both for your kids and for you. And so, listeners, as we continue our conversation with Nicole Allen, House of Color Champaign, how can people connect with you? And if they're not necessarily even local to Champaign, you still do a great job of providing clothes and tips and tricks. So, how can they get a hold of you?
Yes, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook at House of Color Champaign, and color is with a U, COLOUR, because we are a UK company. So I'm in Champaign. I make trips over to Ursa to do color and style sometimes too. So on the west side of the state, but there's House of Color consultants all over the United States.
You will not be disappointed when you choose to invest your time and money and effort and honestly future when you get a House of color and style analysis. It is different than those filters on TikTok. I had done it just to see how spot on. And I'm like, I remember how much more brighter my skin looked with the brighter color than this deeper. And it's important to realize that AI and filters, they're fake. This is a real person with real education doing the work to truly invest into you to help you feel your very best. So we will, in the show notes, link the information to get a hold of Nicole and follow her on socials. And not only does she provide us stuff, she is a bright light in an online space where we get to have the pleasure of living in community together. And you'll see her clients, and it is so fun to see their before and afters. And I think about even for me, right? I used to color my hair blonde. That is what we did. What was the thing that you sprayed in your hair that you told me about?
The sun in turns it orange.
It turns it orange. And orange is not necessarily everyone's color, nor do you want it in your hair. It's so cool to see what happens when you're given a really like a guidebook to say, this will help you look and feel your best. Doesn't mean that you have to follow it and be like your blonde hair and go with your blonde hair. And I was a little scared. I've never been, and this is my natural hair now. And I think, wow,
Same.
look, right? Yours too. It's beautiful. You guys, we were blondes. We were pretty blondes. But
Look how much color's in your complexion now versus that blonde was washing us out so bad. And we didn't know because it was trendy.
we didn't know. And as we leave here, I want to say I only wish that I would have gotten this done before I got married, because what an impact it would have been to know that I would have looked best in a bright white wedding dress. Did I look great? Absolutely. But if I had known that, and I can't wait to give that gift to our kids, because you're going to know what bridesmaid dresses to put around you to really lift up the beautiful features that you have and within your flowers and in your dress. It's such a cool experience that benefits you in more ways than you can even imagine. And so I always encourage mother-daughter, even if you want to do that as a gift. Thank you again, Nicole, for spending time with us on the Working Moms Redefined podcast and sharing your experience and helping so many of us realize that we are worth taking time for. And remember, you can do hard things.
Or if you cut me off, that's fine.